Welcome, everybody. This is John Paul Maducci, Dr. Speed Selling. This is the Raging Verbalist number 240. For those of you who are keeping track, we're glad to have you back. If you're new, welcome. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. If you want to be annoyed, hit the notification on YouTube. We're also on Facebook on the Position to Win book group, Position to Win book group. And then just so you know, we talk about a variety of topics. Stay away mostly from politics. That's something that I find interesting and want to rage about, but you don't have to wonder who's going to ask the questions because we know is the ever lovely Sandra. Sandra, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing well. This is a topic that's topical. There you go. So,
all right, we'll dive right in. All right, so is AI gunning for your job? So which jobs will AI affect?
well, the easy answer is every single job will be affected by AI because AI is becoming more and more prevalent every single day. It's embedded in everything. The interesting thing is that it has been, if you will, seeping into the system for quite some time, but it wasn't necessarily called AI or people didn't think of it as AI. But now it's becoming much more mainstream. So AI is going to affect everything that you see, and hopefully soon, because I tell you, I had a terrible experience yesterday. Had to take my wife to a medical, appointment, and they had her fill out a stupid form. Check this out. This is how up to date they are. You get a clipboard, you get a sheet of paper, you get a cheap Bic pen, one of those little stick pens, and they taped a popsicle stick to it so they could put it in with the clipboard, and you had to fill that out. And then once you filled that out, of course, then they had two women who were sitting there pounding the data into the computer before you could get in. Took way too much time. Bring AI on sooner than later, please. That's a total inefficiency, waste of time. Not that I'm on a rant yet.
And what are some of the myths of AI?
Probably one of the biggest misconceptions is that AI is going to eliminate jobs. It's going to alter jobs. It's going to change jobs. The reality is that we're still going to have to do these things. People like to think that, well, now I can have AI do all of these things. Maybe I can have a smart coffee pot, but it's beyond smart. It's AI smart that knows, when I'm going to wake up. Wait, it hears the rumblings of your little feet touching the carpet as you slide out of bed, and then it starts working to brew this, and it gets it set to, maybe we're going to get there, but it's going to change things a lot. And since it's going to alter these, we still have to do things, and those things will be done, and some will be enhanced greatly by AI, and other things really you just have to go out and do them. I can't. Here's one I'm sure that especially since Sandra grew up in a farm world. Wouldn't it be cool if there was an AI shovel, right? You could touch that shovel and it would be an energized, smart shovel,
Like a Roomba for cleaning barn manure. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be great?
Right.
Yeah. And then you could have, different voices and it could say, maybe sing a medley for you or, shovel that. Well, you got the idea.
Maybe Old MacDonald.
There you go.
It makes the animal noises for the kind of poop it's picking up. It could analyze it, like all types of things,
Sensors in the blade, so you know exactly what's going on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did Bessie get the right amount of medication yesterday? I don't know.
Exactly. So will AI eliminate jobs?
That's always a hard one, because lots of jobs have been eliminated over the years. And, we think about, when they invented cars, it didn't eliminate horses, but it changed things. At one point in time, every town had livery stables and blacksmiths, and you could do all of these things. In fact, I remember this ad that was in like Popular Mechanics when I was growing up, and it said, "Be your own boss and become a blacksmith." And they were selling you a trailer with blacksmith tools so you could go travel from town to town and shoeing horses and all of that. And I'm not saying that wouldn't be like a cool gig to do that, But I'm going to tell you, blacksmithing is a really, oh, it's not a fun job. So those jobs, for the most part, got eliminated. Telegraph operators, those jobs got eliminated. So I think that some of the things are going to be eliminated, but that doesn't mean there isn't going to be work to be done. There's going to be lots of work to be done. In fact, in some ways, AI will come up with things that we're going to want to do, which we weren't doing before. And therefore, there's going to be more things to do. But here's the but, which negates some of what I just said, is that you better get your ass in gear and learn how to do it. Because if you don't, well, then that's when you're really going to be in trouble, because then, you could be out of a job and out of things that you could possibly do.
And how quickly will these changes take place?
Well, there's this thing called the hype cycle, and the hype cycle was put together by the Gartner Group, a bunch of really smarties, and they came up with, and I'll share just the highlights with everybody. So it's called the technology. The first step is what they call technology trigger. It's where new technology gets introduced. It generates significant media. There's interest, there's enthusiasm, but it's kind of like more hype than anything else. Lots of what's called vaporware in the technology world. And the second thing is the peak of inflated expectations. Now, this is where people think, wow, this is going to be taking care of everything, unrealistic expectations. People are just out of their minds thinking how it's all going to fix everything. You're not going to have to do some of those drudgery things. Remember that people use technology every day, and they use a tiny fraction of what today's technology does. But hopefully AI will overcome our lackadaisical attitude of that. So you got this inflated expectations. Number 3 is what's called the trough of disillusionment. And that's as these limitations and challenges begin to appear. We're seeing a bunch of that today with AI, where people are saying, well, it's making this mistake, or it's doing this or doing that. So people get a little bit bummed out. Skepticism sets in. I don't know if it's really going to work. I mean, take the example of a self-driving car. People will tell me, John, wow, someday that's going to be real. A few years ago, in fact, there was a person when I was at Freedom Fest who pounded the table and told me what a Luddite I was. Going to go, that could be the word of the day, Luddite. But I'm not a Luddite, but he says, oh, self-driving cars are going to eliminate like Uber drivers and eliminate all these people because it's all going to be self-driving in just 3 years. Well, that was 7 years ago, and we're not close to that. And that's just because we were unrealistic. So there's that skepticism. Now, are we getting better? Yes, but there we are. And then number 4 is what's called the slope of enlightenment. And this is when people gain a better understanding of what really can happen. What are the practical applications? So AI has a lot of capability, and it is in search of problems that really can be solved. And then step 5 at the end, the final phase, is called the plateau of productivity. And this is where technology reaches maturity, widespread adoption. Now, this can take many, many years. So for those of you who think that it's going to happen tomorrow, well, we'll see. So the answer is, how quickly will things take place? Sooner than you may believe it will, and longer than we want it to. Which then gets us to a very important thing that you need to think about, because this can happen very quickly, which is you need to think about what you're going to do with your life, with your business, and what you're going to have take place. And that's where you go and you buy my book. I was having fun talking about technology, having fun switching screens. So my book is Most Businesses Fail in the First 5 Minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize a position to win. This is my copy, as you can tell. When you buy it, the physical copy, it does not come with Post-it notes. I have to make that as a disclaimer just in case some idiot buys it and says, hey, how come it didn't come with Post-it notes? Bring your own Post-it notes. But you can go get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million. You can get it from our website, which is positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com, and check it out there. And then I will autograph it for you. Also, you can get it digitally in Kindle, Apple, iBooks, and Barnes & Noble Nook. Now, so that's there. And then you can go and get our second book, which is Remote Work for a Better World, available exclusively on the Apple Kindle, not Apple, the Amazon Kindle store. And then, of course, while you're on our website, pick up or ask for a Raging Verbalist mug, buy this, get this, and every time you drink something, maybe you'll get a little bit of rage going for yourself. So with that, and no, we don't have AI yet on that site, but we're probably working towards it. All right, next.
All right. So how quickly will companies adopt AI?
Well, right now, there is a whole lot more talk than action because when I sit there and talk to people, because one of the companies I'm involved in, we are actually helping people get into AI and develop the capability that they need to do and analyze their situation, is that so many of these companies are talking about it, but they're really not truly spending the energy to do what they need to do. So I think that we're going to see this over a period of time. There will be, fancy word, bifurcation, in which many companies will be left behind if they don't adopt it. The medical office I was at yesterday, ridiculous steps that people have to go through, and the whole place was full, and the delays are innumerable. And somebody is going to figure this out and say, wait a second, you mean that we could go and do ... and make this thing go 8, 10, 100, 500 times faster? Yeah, probably going to happen. So it's going to take some time. The adoption curve is one of measured in years, if not decades. People will tell me that that's not true. Show me any technology that got done that quickly, and I'll tell you, well, you're probably, maybe not seeing things clearly.
And how does someone prepare themselves so their job isn't going to get eliminated?
I would suggest that you start learning about AI and how to utilize it. And by utilizing it every single day, you go out there and you say, okay, let's go out there and find out how I can improve in my job. It all comes down to that technology is about speed. We now demand speed everywhere. We are all on that hyper cycle of moving things along faster. If you don't believe me, just go look at people who want to order something on Amazon and get it delivered today. If it doesn't get delivered today, and I just recently had that, I ordered something, it's supposed to be delivered, wasn't delivered. I kind of expected it wasn't going to be delivered on time. And what happened was, of course, is that we ended up with the world going, hey, wait a second, how come my thing didn't deliver? Why didn't it happen? And what was the first thing that Amazon did for me is they said, you want to cancel this and get a refund? No. And they delivered it 4 hours later. So you need to take and be really smart and be on top of these things and understand that, yes, AI will be incorporated, and you need to ask yourself, am I prepared to be taught? Am I teachable? Am I coachable? And more importantly, will I seek the information that I need to stay relevant in the marketplace? And that is what you need to do to make sure that you don't get pushed aside by AI.
And break down how you would help a company look at AI.
When you look at a company, any company, and this is obviously, there's a much deeper version of this, but I'll give you 3 layers. At the top layer, any company, from the smallest to the largest, is a system, and is a system that delivers some type of value, a service, a product, or both to customers, consumers, businesses. So that means we have this overarching system. Now, inside of that system, this big giant box, if you will, are a bunch of processes that take place. And every single process itself has many, many steps to it. Some of them have very few, but they all have some steps to it. And therefore, you have to then look at each of those steps as tasks that are also subtasks. So when I work with companies, when we work with companies, we look at their overall system. Then we start looking at all the different processes that make up all the things they have to do to deliver. And yes, it can be overwhelming to look at it sometimes. But what we're looking for is we're looking for a process that has tasks that we can improve. See, oftentimes people want to improve the entire system. It starts at a much lower level and more granular level. And every time you improve a task, even something as small as filling out that stupid form, is that what it means is that you speed things up in other ways. And that actually helps deliver better value. So we always start by getting to the tasks and subtasks and looking for all of those things and building off of those. And if you think with that mindset, what you'll come up with and what you'll have is a more successful implementation of utilizing technology, and in particular, AI.
And what's the fastest way to leverage AI?
Well, you need to first define a bunch of tasks and then pick one and really work on that one task. It's easy to want to jump here, there, and everywhere. Every single task that we are going to use AI with, you need to be able to understand how you would do it slowly, methodically, mechanically, and manually. And if you can do that, then you now have that well laid out. See, one of the things that you have to be worried about is hidden layers and things that you don't necessarily know what those pieces are. Work to that level, and what you'll find is that you'll be able to get in a mindset where you can say, okay, I fixed this task in a very significant way, and using AI found a very efficient. First, we start with effectiveness, and then we work for efficiency. And every time you do that, it actually affects all the tasks that come before it and all the tasks that come after it, because that becomes a very highly optimized piece that needs to be done on a continuous and regular basis. Whenever somebody tells me that their business is not situated in a way that you can do that, and they say, well, you don't understand, John, all these things depend on this and depend upon that. All of those dependencies, we can always go out and bracket them. 80-20 principle applies, other things apply. So let's start looking for tasks, because that is the fastest way to implement and use AI in your life, in your business, and everything that you do.
So here's a bonus question. So what is the one thing someone can do so they won't be eliminated by AI?
Well, as we're recording this, I would say, and it's a good bonus question, I would say that one of the best things you can do is go get a subscription to Perplexity. I have the free version. You can get the pro version. Perplexity is an AI just like Chat GPT and Grok and Claude and all of, Copilot. But I like Perplexity because Perplexity tells me where they pulled the data from. So what you can do is you can go get an app and you get it on your iPhone, get it on your Android device. And what you can do is you can dictate to it. So you can ask it questions. And of course, you can ask it silly, stupid questions. People do that all the time. But what you want to do is you want to get better and better and better at asking the questions. Peter Drucker is father of modern American management, said, and I was in the room when he said it, the most important thing is, yes, we want answers, but it is crafting the questions, what we would call an AI prompts. The beauty of Perplexity is literally you can dictate something, hit the button, and in mere seconds see what that is. Now, you can also document it, and therefore you have copies of what that's going to do. That is, to me, the simplest way to get into the pool, and it does a lot of very positive things. I have no connection with them whatsoever, other than somebody who discovered them, and I do demos for clients all the time, not demonstrating just Perplexity, but showing how we can get answers to their sticky business questions and how to improve tasks in a very meaningful way. And with that, I just want to thank all of you who have joined us live on this Raging Verbalist AI edition. And whether or not you're going to be having a job in the future, which you will if you really get behind and understand what AI can do, not only for yourself, but for all of those around you. And so this is John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling, and for myself and the ever lovely Sandra, this has been the Raging Verbalist. Go and have a great week and go check it out and become AI literate as soon as you possibly can. Thank you.